often feel tired when you get to school. Then you get to class, especially a class you don't enjoy, and you feel sleepy and unmotivated and bored and possibly even grumpy. Well, studies show that a teenager's sleeping habits may be at fault because they have a different internal clock than children and adults do. And this means high schoolers would benefit from starting school later in the morning. Reason 1, students will feel more well-rested and perform better in class. Starting school later in the day means that students would be able to sleep in later, obviously, and more sufficient sleep would give huge benefits. Research has shown that a lack of sleep can negatively affect one's focus, memory, and decision-making. So more sleep for a student in high school means easier and more enjoyable learning, as well as assignments being easier and faster to complete, hopefully. Reason 2, students will have a better attitude. Now, obviously, when a student doesn't get good sleep and has to get up quite early in the morning, and they're not an early riser, it'll be quite difficult for them to be cheerful or have a lot of energy throughout the day. Instead, they're going to be sleepy, uninterested, unmotivated, and let's be real, all you want to do is go back to sleep. But when they get to sleep in a little later, they're going to be more willing to get out of bed, more willing to be productive, and it's quite possible that they'll have a more optimistic approach to the entire day. And reason 3, students will have less stomach grumbling. Have any of you been in math class, focusing on a problem, trying to get as much done in the class as possible, when all of a sudden your stomach decides to tell you that it needs more sustenance? It lets out a low grumble, similar to the sound you make in the morning when you have to get up for school. Or maybe it's more of a squeak, similar to the sound your shoe makes against the gym floor. Well, whatever it may sound like, it's probably pretty embarrassing. You hope and pray that nobody thinks it was you. Well, a later start to the morning would mean that you would have a later breakfast. So you wouldn't have to stuff snacks in your mouth during transition periods, so you wouldn't have to have a grumbly stomach during class. If I haven't convinced you that school needs to start later in the morning for high school students, then I don't know what will. These 3 reasons, feeling more well-rested to perform better, having a better attitude, and having less stomach grumbling, will make a great argument for high school students. Overall, a later start in the morning would mean it would be very beneficial to students, and life would be much more enjoyable for them.